Hello, Handball friends. Welcome to the third episode of the Handball Show. I'm your host, Martin Bilello, and today we have a great show for you. First, we're going to have an interview with Joshua Ko, which I always wanted to have in the show because he's the first player from our youth league that went to create a handball program at a college. After that, we're going to have a recap of the season for the Bay Area Youth Handball League together with the Youth California Cup. And to finish, we're going to have an interview with probably the highest ranked couple of referees here in the US. But without further ado, let's go to our first interview. Hello, we're here with Joshua Ko. He's joining us for our first interview for our show. Hello, Josh, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, yeah.
All right. So, to introduce a little bit about you to the audience, okay, can you tell me who is Joshua Ko?
Yeah, so my name is Josh. I'm captain for Case Western Handball team and founder. So this club has been going about for 3 years now. This will be our third season, and so yeah, excited to be here.
All right. Thank you for being here with us. And can you tell me how did you get started with Team Handball?
So I could not have found handball without COVID and the quarantine. It was really just a group of friends that I played basketball with, I played football with, and then I found out, oh, you guys play handball. And so I tried on their team, I tried to join in, and definitely rough at first with any new sport, but I picked up pretty quickly. I played football and basketball for quite a while, and so I was able to really get integrated, and my passion from handball really just grew from there.
And which class was this that you joined?
Cali Kings. So Cali Kings was my first start. I'm from the Bay Area, so really strong program there. And then of course coming to Case.
All right. Can you tell me why did you decide to go to Case Western and how? And tell me a little bit about the school as well.
Yeah, so Case was really I have my major is nursing, so I really chose Case because of that. Gives me a lot of good like clinical experience, so I get a lot of hours there. I really get what nursing is. Yeah, so Case is a around 5,000 person school, not really big. It's a private school, and they're not really known for sports either. Um, Starting a club for sure has been tough. Again, not really their priority. Their priority is more on academic and research. Um, so yeah, I would say that.
And why did you or how did you decide to start a handball club in Case Western? And how was that process? Can you explain
Yeah,
it, especially if you can explain it to other people that may want to start a club at their other schools as well?
sure. So really, it was just being in Cleveland and like, where's the nearest handball team? Because again, handball was a very new passion for me. And so I wanted to play more handball. And being from the Bay Area, I missed handball a lot. And I was just like, where's the nearest handball team? And so that happened to be Columbus. And Columbus was 2.5 hours away. Pittsburgh is also about 2.5 hours away. And I was just like, I don't want to just play by myself. I want to start a club. I want to start something. Definitely hard because when those ideas first popped up to me, this was like the start of my freshman year. I had a lot of doubts for sure, and a lot of moments where I thought like I was just going to give up. And I'm glad I really stuck with it. The product has been amazing so far, and yeah, I'm really excited to see where the future takes me.
All right, awesome. And do you remember like what were the requirements for you to start a sport club at Case Western?
It's really a process. I definitely had a lot of help with JD from Columbus, who runs a lot of the handball in the Ohio region. But a lot of it was just a lot of policy work. So the challenge with each college is that every college is different. Every college will be different in their rules and how you start a club. Really finding the whole list of that was challenging to begin with,
Hmm.
and then really just getting the satisfying those requirements and then getting that audience, that base of people who will really commit to it. That was definitely hard. Selling myself and selling the club was definitely something I'm still not great in.
Hmm.
I'm not great with advertising or PR, any of that, and I'm glad over the years I've had help. Um, but that was definitely something I had to learn. Um, yeah, I would say really just following the policies and getting a good base of people who will commit to your club. Those are real challenges that any handball club will face.
Okay. So, but you were only able to do this because you were a student at Case Western, right? If somebody from outside wants to start a club at the school, they're gonna have a really hard time if they don't have students involved, correct?
Yeah, so I'm going through a our club is under an organization named Undergraduate Student Government.
Hmm.
So they basically fund our club, which we're really lucky to have funds for our club. This is not just all the students contribute to it.
Hmm.
It's more case will provide some money that is granted to us to carry out our functions and all that. So yes, definitely hard without being a student to receive those grants, to receive recognition, to receive the funding.
Hmm.
That all goes within the function of a club.
Okay. And do you have any people that you would like to shout out in terms of helping you get the club going? These special people that you say they were helping you throughout the process?
Yeah, JD for one of them, he was very big.
Hmm.
Uh, Big shout out to Colby as well. Colby is our coach, and he's been helping out a lot. And really, just our core group who I've seen from day one, and they're still here. So Zev, uh, Quentin, um, there's probably so many others I can't remember off the
Okay.
top of my head now. Andrew being one of them, who also has my last name. People always think we're brothers, so it's very funny. But yeah, those people for sure helped me a lot throughout the process.
Okay. And you say that you started the club in your freshman year. So these past 3 years, how has the club performed and how much they have grown?
Yeah, and even my first year, we didn't, a lot of what I did my first year was just recruit people and recruit people. There was a lot of trial and failure. And so it was only until my sophomore season until we had a season. And even then, a lot of ups and downs. Um, I definitely lost a lot of people during that time. It's very hard to coach handball and try to have people to buy into handball. I would say 60% of recruits you'll just lose based on the fact that handball is a very much a contact sport, and you'll just lose people like that, especially at a culture where case isn't, they don't play sports a lot.
Mm.
A lot of people they don't, it's not within our culture.
Mhm.
So it was very hard to have numbers. We went into our first national tournament with 7 people,
Okay.
no bench. Thank God no one got injured, but 7 people. And yeah, for sure, there are some times we had to borrow people that season, but definitely encouraging next year because we did end up with a solid team and solid results as well. We won third in Trailblazer Handball Conference, and then we placed fifth in nationals last year, which I'm really proud of.
Okay. And you personally, how have you performed throughout these several seasons that you have with the club?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a lot to learn because I came from, teams that knew how to play handball. And so it was very frustrating at first because, I tried to do a lot of everything. And so it was, um, yes, some learning moments there. And yes, I got better, but also it hurt my team. And so, you know, it's been a process of learning how to play with people. Um, Definitely, I would say a lot of what my improvements have been has just been a product of really understanding the game, um, really just being a student of the game, having that hard work mentality, um, and yeah, really just playing lots of games, which I know is not a big thing here compared to the Bay Area where there's teams readily available everywhere. So yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah, and I know you got selected to the All Star team in the last college national. How was that for you? How do you think you got to that level?
I mean, it's definitely validating. A lot of it was due to, again, just those hours. I spend a lot of weekends by myself with a handball goal in a very empty gym, just practicing and practicing shot after shot after shot. Um, Definitely moments that were hard. Definitely there were moments that I did not have as much confidence as I do now, but um, really that was those hours do add up,
Mm-hmm.
and like that's what I always want to believe. That's I really want to get better and like the process of getting better, and I think that's the one thing that I think I'm really good at is I have that dedication to spend time and effort into this. So yeah.
Right, perfect. And looking towards this new season, how what can you tell us about the team? You're getting new players. Which tournaments you guys are gonna play? How do you see yourself for the new college nationals in this season?
I'm feeling very confident. One of my friends, Chen Wu, is also playing with us this year. So he's already start there. I would say we already have a very solid foundation, and that's a lot of what I really wanted is a core group of guys
Mm-hmm.
who've been with me through the years, and they've trained and gotten better. And now I'm very confident in their abilities. And the fact that we have new players like Chen Wu and others coming in um, is very exciting to me. It's very exciting to me. So, um, and it's definitely a process for me too, because I have been, at least I'd like to think I've been more efficient in coaching and the drills we do. I know how the process is now
Mm-hmm.
because definitely that first season is definitely a lot. It's more of a marathon than a sprint,
Mm-hmm.
uh, which I imagined otherwise. And so understand that process now and, understand the process of training new people and getting them better and of course getting myself better. Um, it really does give us quite a bit of an advantage heading into this season.
Right. And have you guys started practices already, or are you gonna start in the next few weeks?
Yeah, so this would be our third week of practice right now. We've already started practicing. Um, right now, I think we've covered a bunch of the fundamentals and we're starting to head into that team play. So, and I like to say that's where, you know, you you show where you really are at, because it does involve a lot of moving components. There has to be a lot of team chemistry, and so really, it's definitely a hard thing to teach at first, especially for people who've never played handball. But over the season, it gets better and better, and you get to see like the fruits of your labor.
Mm-hmm. And did you see any new influx of people thanks to the Olympics, or like is the team bigger now compared to last year?
Yeah, our team is quite big. I'd still say we are very small compared to other handball clubs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I definitely see a lot of recognition of handball from the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to say that has translated much to the size of our team,
Mm-hmm.
but definitely there are more people that recognize what handball is, and that's also encouraging.
Okay, sounds good. And so we're gonna see you guys at College National this year, then.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, and you guys are gonna improve that fifth place, or not?
I mean, the goal right now is to win Trailblazer Handball Conference. That's
Yeah.
big to me, um, because very much that is a controllable thing
Hmm.
that I have right now. We'll get to nationals when we get there. I think right now it's always focusing one step at a time, one game at a time, one practice at a time, really just having that mentality,
Hmm.
focusing on what you have now, and then you'll get better on from there, and you won't have to worry as much come game time.
Right. That's good. And I know having Changwoo on the team that there's going to be a lot of ankles that are going to be broken.
Yeah, for sure. We have a lot of fast-moving people.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the mentality at Case is we're not very athletic. Not a lot of us, not a lot of us are very big. So it's a lot of really just fighting, wanting it more than the other person, using your strengths, and also just playing intelligently. I think those are our biggest strengths. Again, because we don't have the biggest people, but we definitely can break ankles. We definitely have the skills, and we definitely have the fight.
All right. Awesome. Looking forward to see you guys play this year. And just to close it up, what advice will you give to other the other players that would like to start a club team at their universities?
Some advice I'd give is really just know what the policies are. Um, really look into how you're going to start a handball club and plan it out. Really just have a plan and also have a plan B. If something doesn't go your way, keep moving forward. And I think the most important advice I can give is, the perseverance you have is really going to make the team. There's a lot of times when um, recruitment has been low, or friends just didn't think I would be able to make a team like this. And so um, there's definitely a point in which you have to dig deep and believe that your vision can become a reality.
Right. Awesome. Thank you so much, Joshua. Thank you for being in the show, and we'll stay in touch. And looking forward to meet you at College Nationals this year.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. Bye. I hope everybody can learn a thing or two about Joshua's experience about creating a new club at a college level so we can see more being created in the future. But let's take a look and see how the season here in the Bay Area went for the Youth League. This past fall was the 8th season of the Bay Area Youth Handball League. The league is organized by the San Francisco Cal Heat, and it brings kids from 6th to 12th grade from several schools in the Bay Area. This season there were 4 girls middle school, 6 boys middle school, and 3 high school teams competing, for a total of almost 200 kids. Let's talk with one of the middle school coaches to see how their season went.
I'm Yogev Kedar, and I coach both the A team and the B team boys Castellero teams.
And how is your season going?
Our season is going pretty good. The B team is just new team, so they're learning the steps to play handball, slowly getting it. They started scoring very low games, and overall, over the last couple games, they've improved quite a bit. We have some players that are better than others, but all of them are getting better considerably from when they started. As for the A team, I feel like it's a very solid team overall. Every single one of them is a really good player, and all of them we definitely have the option to win the whole season.
What have they done in terms of results? How they're doing now?
They've played 2 games. The first one they lost by 1, and the second one they won by quite a bit, if I recall correctly. And I believe that the first game, as a team, we were better. We had a few issues that we didn't know how to deal with because it was our first game and everyone's just getting used to it. But I believe that we will not lose the same game again.
The regular season of the Youth League finished as follows. For the girls' middle school teams, the Lady Broncos got first place, the Lady Cobras second, and the second team from Castillero took the third place, while the San Jose girls took the fourth. For the boys' teams, the Bret Hart Broncos took the first place, followed by the Castillero Cobras and the Hoover Hawks in third place. Then the Sean Muir Falcons took fourth, with Stern School Dolphins taking fifth, and at the end, the second team from Castillero Cobras took the last place. In the high school season, the Pioneer Mustangs took the first place, followed by the Stern School Dolphins, and the new team, the Leland Chargers, took the third place, with all three teams heading into the tournament. The Youth California Cup is the tournament at the end of each season for the Bay Area Youth Handball League. The best teams in the regular season compete for the Under 14 Boys Cup, the Under 14 Girls Cup, and the Under 18 Youth California Cup. In the girls competition, the Bret Hart Broncos took the title for the fourth times in a row, followed by the Castillero Cobras in second place and the San Jose Blackouts in third. In the boys middle school competition, the Bret Hart Broncos reclaimed their title after having lost it last year, followed by the Hoover Hawks in a very close final, and then the Castillero Cobras took the third place. On the high school competition, the Pioneer Mustangs took a back-to-back championship after having won it for the first time last year. Second place was taken by the Leland Chargers, the newcomers this season, and the third place was for the Stern Dolphins from San Francisco. That's amazing. 8 seasons of hundreds of kids and their families getting involved with handball here in the Bay Area. I hope we can replicate that in the rest of the country. But let's turn the page and visit with the highest ranked couple of referees here in the US to learn a thing or two about their history, how they got to where they are, and how yourself can become a referee as well. All right, hello.
Sorry.
Hello everybody, we're here with Dr. Molina Hidalgo and Anastasia Bohoiavlenska, if I pronounce it correctly. They're joining us directly from Nicaragua, is that correct? Where you're participating in the IHF Trophy for the South and Central American Confederation, right? All right, well, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here, and I'm really excited to have you here because usually when people talk about handball in the US, they never talk about the referees, or they never mention the referees as an important part, but I think it's a really, really important part. So I wanted to have you guys here because I think you're right now the highest ranked couple in the US, and you have worked international games as well. So I wanted the community to know you a little bit. So let's start with you, Cristina. If you can tell me a little bit more about your history, how you got involved with handball, and how you started refereeing.
Well, I started to play handball. I started as a player when I was 6 years old. It's a long time ago. I played kind of like in a high level until I was 24. But because of I started to get injured on my knees, I have 11 surgeries on my knees. So after all of these surgeries, I'm trying to like come back and just like keep playing. When I was 18, I remember one referee, a friend of my mom. He was like, "You need to start like refereeing as well. Like you love handball, and it's another way to keep connected to the sport." So I decided to start refereeing. I love it, but still I wanted to keep playing. So it was kind of hard for me to, say goodbye to the player role. But I think when I was like around 24, when I decided, okay, I'm gonna just focus on refereeing, and yeah, like I started to work with a few couples in Spain. We were kind of like promoting and getting mentoring, so we were kind of like being more in a professional setting within the referee environment. And then what happened is I switched my life. I went to the US. I came to the US, and like I needed to keep be connected to handball. So yeah, I started to referee here in handball, and then we met.
All right. But before we get to that, Anastasia, if you can tell us your story of how you got involved with handball and how you started refereeing as well.
Yeah, so I was playing handball from my childhood also. It's from the second grade. I was 8 years old. And then it's a similar story pretty much because as everybody know, the handball it's not like, sometimes it's the players can be injured, and it's happened very often. That is why I got an injury on my knee. I had 2 surgeries, and at 19 years old, I was starting referee.
Yeah.
And then little by little, we started getting better. I was refereeing the beach handball also. So, but after my serious circumstances, we moved to US, and then it was a big opportunity to find a couple, and we just continue our journey in US.
All right. So tell us a little bit about that story. How did you find each other, and how did you decide to start refereeing together?
So we met each other in national championship in 2022. We didn't know each other before. It was like I just came to US from Ukraine, and it was my first tournament in US, like handball tournament. I came there just by myself, just to ref, nothing else. And then I met Cristina because she came like on the time 1 year ago to US. So and then it was a good opportunity to be together.
So it was a fun story because so we didn't know each other. We never refereed together. So in that tournament for Morton, the IHF team of the referees was there, and I don't know, they decided to put us together. She didn't speak no English. I didn't speak Russian or Ukraine, so it was kind of like let's do what we do, like handball, you know.
Yeah.
And actually we got pretty good. It was like 3-4 days in the nationals. We couldn't speak to each other, but we were seeing the same stuff. We were seeing the same handball, and we were calling the same. So after that, like the IHF and the international continental journey started from that day that we met.
Okay, so tell us how that journey was. Like, how was the process of getting higher in the ranking? What was the highest you got to referee and all that?
You go. So it's like the structure in the US, as you know, it's kind of like different from like our countries we are come from. So in the US, pretty much we were not like a lot of couples. So as I mentioned, Per Morten connected with the continental chief of the referees. By that time, it was Alejandro, and we have a meeting with them. They asked, kind of like tell us that there is a possibility of getting into an international program to obviously get the knowledge, get the training, and maybe a big dream of going to the Olympics in 2028. So we were kind of like, nah, like this is not, but okay, whatever. So they started to call us to different tournaments, courses with the Continental. In 2022, we have been connecting with different tournaments, IHF tournaments, and that's pretty much like we have been kind of like growing up just by doing it.
Okay, that's cool. And do you remember, like, of in this journey, like, how did you feel about refereeing in those higher level programs? There was any game that you felt like, oh, this game is gonna be hard, we need to prepare? How do you prepare for those kind of games?
So pretty much we feel unbelievable because so the little story about if you referee in Europe, you never, like, it's a big dream to ref international tournament. So and here when we get a couple, like all together, we are together, we start refereeing international tournament. It was a kind of like, wow, this is dream because it's highest level.
Right.
So there was our like kind of,
yeah, it was like shocking at the beginning. To be honest, the level handball again is like pretty different. Like in Europe, handball is like a historical sport, and you have like high level, even when you are refereeing kids with like around 16 years old, And here is different. It's true that in the American continent we have experienced like different levels, like more like lower. So it was weird as well because you are thinking about an international level and you think, okay, everyone is gonna be incredible. But no, the reality is like you're gonna see a lot of things, and that's hard because when you have to referee a game that is like, that intense, it's not that the level of handball is not that high, but you have to be in your highest level. Focus, tension, body language, making decisions, etc. That has been like an interesting experience. We have learned a lot. And I think that our journey we went to Uzbekistan last February, I believe. Yeah. And that was a really, really good experience. We went there and the IHF chief of the referee was there, Per Martin, and it was a really, really good training. The tournament, again, the level wasn't that high, but still, it was like the instructions, the way that they trained you, the way that they put a lot of pressure on you so you can handle that. Because at the end, well, if you're going to be in a court with 10, 20,000 people looking at you and screaming at you, you have to handle the pressure. So that was kind of like the breaking point of like, okay, we want to do this for real. Like, this is a real dream. We are able to do this and we love it. So after that is,
Right. So, and what are your plans for the future? How do you want to continue with your career as a couple of referees?
We want to get highest category, it's IHF category, and after that, rep more serious competition, higher and higher.
Okay.
So then the final goal is, fingers crossed, it's Olympic Games.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's kind of like the big dream, and it was the big dream since the beginning. Now that actually we are in the IHF course to fight for that batch and see we're in the right direction to get the IHF level. We'll see. Obviously, we are gonna do our best, but it's gonna be a long journey for sure. Like, we need to learn a lot. We need to face like real tournaments. Like you are like, and we think that we are gonna be scared at some point because the level is gonna be high, and we are gonna be there making all the decisions. But we believe in ourselves, and we think that we can make it happen. Right? So.
Okay, perfect. And you have the entire U.S. community backing you up, so I'm sure you're gonna get there. Now, when you were talking about the different levels of the tournaments that you were refereeing, I'm sure refereeing in the U.S. actually prepared you a little bit for that, right? How do you feel about refereeing these varying levels of competitions that we have here?
So it's tough because right now the IHF trophies that we are attending, they are more youth. They are like under 18, under 20. And however, as you know, in the US, right now we don't have a structure with young people playing. It's more adults. So we are used to, like adults fighting with each other and like kind of like acting with them. Everything's more clear when you are like seeing like adults game and senior games versus young players. So like that's kind of like a big difference that we are not trained when we are in the US refereeing. We cannot train that much. Those type of games. However, I think that the level in the US, like refereeing like adults constantly, that probably they were playing in Europe, so they know what to do. They are smart. That gives us a lot of experience. So when we go to these tournaments, we are ready for it. We are ready for everything that is coming. Yeah, you would think so. Yes.
Okay. And for people that might be interested in getting into refereeing here in the U.S., what do you recommend they do? Is there any structure, any courses they can take? How do you go about that if you want to become a referee here in the U.S.?
What people who think they want to referee, what they have to do? Well, right now I feel like the structure is still muddy. Like as you know, the new CEO is coming in. And they are trying to create a new structure within the referee committee because, to be honest, it wasn't clear for us.
Okay.
Like, we are lucky because we were referees before, so we have the path. For new referees, I would say contact us, contact anyone that they are seeing like in handball, so we can kind of like connect each other and get, once like these committees more like solid, we can start doing, probably they're gonna start doing courses, they're gonna start doing more stuff so they can get involved. But I would say that so when you are doing like something new, obviously it's scary because it's like, oh, it's new, people don't like it yet. But at the same time, it's the best. I'm a researcher, I'm a neuroscientist. So finding a gap for us, we can fulfill that. We can work on that. So what I would say in the US is a lot of females, a lot of males, they cannot keep playing basketball because everyone is doing that. Or they are not able to do American football, or females, all the sports that are dedicated to females. So handball can be a really amazing opportunity for all of them to start to keep connecting to sports, doing something new, and having the opportunity to be in Olympics at some point. So yeah, like coming back to your question, I'm sorry, it would be try to connect with everyone that is into handball. And once the structure is clear, we will try to like give more resources to people. Like, okay, we just have to go to this email and then they are gonna give you the course. But right now, I feel that it would be more like just try to connect to people and then we are gonna make it happen.
Okay. Yeah. I was actually gonna ask you if you have any message for young girls that would like to follow in your steps and become referees. So I think I'm gonna just tell them, just get in contact with Cristina.
Yes, perfect. Yes, please text us. We have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have everything. Every social media they can feed off, and they just like can text us, and we are gonna start working.
Okay, perfect. And last question before we leave, each one of you, do you remember what was the hardest player? You don't need to give me names, right? But what was the kind of player that was the hardest for you to referee or to call fouls on, and what is it that they were doing that makes it so hard?
You say your experience.
So I will tell. We had tournament in Uzbekistan, right? And how Cristina mentioned before that it was a very hard, like a very good experience for us, but it was kind of hard because a lot of new rules, updates all the time, and you always have to be like into it because if not, you're gonna be lost. And that is why, like, I will say one of the matches from there, it was kind of very hard because we were trying to follow the instructions, but it wasn't such a clear call from them for us because we didn't even understand what they want. So, but hopefully now we are good. And we know where we're going and what is going to happen next. But it's kind of this something like that.
Okay.
So thinking about one player, like what you were kind of like mentioning, I think about one in Puerto Rico. So this girl from the Martinica. So she was an incredible player. She was the best player of the team by far. Like we knew. But she was completely out of her mind. Like she was not able to control her emotions, and she was going like so difficult. She was complaining about everything, and it was hard because she didn't speak no English, and we didn't speak French. So it was kind of hard because when you find those type of players, like you know that they are good, but they are young still and didn't control like their emotions, and it's hard. You want to kind of like be their friend, like, hey, I'm here to help you. I'm protecting you. This is not about me being the bad guy. It's not about that. But we couldn't do that. So the first game, it was tough because the only way to stop her, it was like 2 minutes. And then we ended with red card, actually, for something that she did. But then we connected after the game. We saw each other, like, there in the area. And we talked to her, the translator. We talked a little bit, and I said to her, like, hey, you're like an amazing player, but what is going on here? So we talked a little bit, and she said that she knew, like, everyone said that to me. I'm like, hey, yes, you just have to do it. So the next game that we ran, it was way better. It was way better. So I would say that player, like that game, was very tough because you are seeing that player is so good, but at the same time, it's like you have to control things. Like, so yeah, I would say that.
That was good. Okay. Do you have any other message for the community in the U.S. For people that may not know you personally but have been ref by you? They want to give them?
Well, I would say that we are just here to help. That we love handball. We were like babies when we started handball, and we are doing handball now because of the Olympics, now because of badges or because of certifications. It's because we love this sport. And if they want to be involved, if they want to know better, we are coaches as well. We have certification with all of that and knowledge, and we just want to help the community. So anyone who wants our help at some point, we are gonna be there for them. Anything that we can do, we are gonna do it. And also, like, we are gonna work as hard as possible to represent our country all together and like be there in the Olympics.
Yeah, I want to add that unfortunately in the US, the handball is not very famous sport, but we want to make it happen and get it like, we want to open the eyes for other people and just like see this sport is incredible. It's like you have to love it because there sometimes when they asking us like, what is handball? My heart is hurting. I'm like, how is it? How you don't know? So let's try the sport, and this is the main thing that we want to say.
And actually, what you were saying, community, like we have to be together. When something is small, we have to be all together. So we are gonna be stronger and make this happen together. So,
well, thank you so much, and I hope we can talk to you guys again once you reach those higher levels that you mentioned. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting us.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Bye. Thank you so much for joining us. That's our show for today. But next year, we're going to meet more frequently with shorter episodes. So, goodbye.